The Golden Knights look to close out the opening round series in Minnesota Thursday night. It has been a tight series. What does VGK have to do to avoid playing a seventh game here in Las Vegas this weekend? Coming up next, right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Well, hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, longtime sportscaster, marketing consultant, and the host of the new Believe in Vegas podcast. He is Chris Golick, the owner of Silver State Cards and Sports and collectibles editor for the Hockey News. Thanks for making us your number one choice each and every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. We are the only daily Golden Knights podcast. We are brought to you today by Amazon Fire TV. Fire TV is also in box. Go to amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. Coming up ahead on today's show, keys to victory, locks of the night, and predictions. But first, for the record, VGK Chris, 11-11 lifetime here in team history in closeout games, including 5 and 7 on the road. If you think that this series is over, I should say, with VGK leading 3-2, just hang on to your hats here, because the Wild Cards are a live dog. You have to believe that. It's not like the Golden Knights have been running or stomping on the Wild. The last couple of games, overtime thrillers. VGK is 4-3 under Bruce Cassidy in closeout games. Cassidy said, when a team's up against it like the Wild are, you have to match their intensity early. You can't sit around and wait and say, I've got another chance. So that'll be the mindset of the Golden Knights.
Closing teams out in any sport, but definitely the NHL. Stanley Cup playoffs is one of the most difficult tasks in all of sports. And it only gets harder as the rounds get deeper. If you want to chop these two games up, right? Games 2 and 3, the Wild, I don't know, dominating is the word. The Golden Knights had a lot of self-inflicted wounds, but they were 3-goal margin of victories. Empty netters, I believe, but still 3-goal margin of victories. The games the Golden Knights won. 1 goal, 2 of which they needed to go to overtime. So
right.
The Wild found ways to open up the games. The Golden Knights won in close games. And Coach Cassidy said this for years. The Golden Knights are comfortable in close games. They don't panic. They don't try to get away from their game. And they try not to let mistakes compound, although that's exactly what happened in games 2 and 3. But closeout games are tough, and it's not going to be an easy task for the Vegas Golden Knights. But the sports books don't necessarily support your perspective about the Wild being a live dog. -165 for the Golden Knights on the road, -752 locally to win the series. That's a crazy line, but that's what the line is.
Wild number.
Wild.
Cassidy said that you could put some doubt in the mind of the opposition if you get out of the gate fast. And he believes that this team, that the Golden Knights, have another level. Do you? And you think we can see that now?
Yep.
I know you've been talking about this, but if they have this other level, why haven't we experienced this sooner?
Well, again, yes, this is theoretically a 2 and 7 seed if we were going in traditional playoffs. And the Wild, again, this is probably the fourth time we've said this in the last 3 shows. The Wild were one of the best teams in the NHL when they were healthy. And then I think around game 40 or 50 is when everything changed for them. Difference from the Minnesota Wild now and the Golden Knights last year, who were fully healthy on paper as far as all of their pieces in there. We know Tomas Hertl could barely stand up. We know Mark Stone was skating stiffer than a board. Other players had many injuries throughout the season. The Golden Knights were a shadow of the type of team they are now as far as their health goes. This version of the Minnesota Wild got healthier a little bit quicker. And this Golden Knights team, I still question the health of Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, and Alex Pietrangelo. 2 of those 3 players look like they're getting a little better. Pietrangelo looks like he's going the wrong way, unfortunately. Both the goals, thankfully, 1 disallowed, but both those goals, 1 he's beat cleanly, and 2 he's caught as a passenger. So, there's some concerns there on the injury front. And We will see, I guess, how it shakes out. We talked about the next level and everything. I think as those players return to health, I think that kind of takes care of itself. And if you want to compare to another level right now, look at what the Edmonton Oilers are doing. No one gave the Oilers a chance in that series. I picked them to win, but no one gave the Oilers a chance against the Kings. Kings did very, very well in the first 2 games of the series. Oilers are getting healthier. Evander Kane, Evander Kane is back. Yes, he's looking pretty good out there. McDavid is getting healthier. Draisaitl's getting healthier. And you look at how much better they're playing. That's what you can see out of the Golden Knights. And you're starting to see it in these last couple of games.
As far as the lines, and we saw where Cassidy put the lines in a blender the last game, he said, we will do what we got to do to see what gives us a competitive edge. Of course, making adjustments. He'll do this on the fly. And again, the absence perhaps of Pavel Dorofeev here in this game coming up on Thursday night in game number 6. What effect would that have if he can't go?
I don't know. I mean, I'm being a little hard on Doro right now. I suggested earlier in the day, we're recording on Wednesday night. I suggested earlier on Wednesday that I would not mind seeing a direct swap Olofsson for Dorofeev and put him in the power play, put Olofsson on the top line. Olofsson might give that scoring threat that Dorofeev hasn't had. Dorofeev had a dynamite chance. I thought he missed the net, but it turns out it was a great save that Gustafsson made off the shoulder. So maybe this is a little bit of just goals come and go, ups and downs, ebbs and flows, however you want to put it. And maybe Dorofeev is just on the wrong side of that. If Dorofeev can't go, I don't look at that as a big deal because he's got 1 goal this series. Not knocking Dorofeev. I'm just simply saying that the Golden Knights can get by without Dorofeev. You take Eichel out, that's a different story. Olofsson can slot right into that top right wing, which is, I think, exactly where he would go. I'm not worried about Olofsson as a defensive liability against Boldy and Kaprizov because, well, I think at least Olofsson has more experience in that in the National Hockey League than Dorofeev does, and he's out there with William Karlsson and Jack Eichel, a couple of defensive specialists in that degree. So Olofsson might be able to give him a jump. Maybe he scores not angle goal, and maybe he finds a way to get one on the power play.
For Minnesota, we will see Gustafsson back in net. He's feeling better,
That's good,
according to Hines, so that should be good. So we have good on good there. Pulled in the last game here on Tuesday night because he was feeling ill, and then Marc-Andre Fleury came in relief. With Dorofeev, is it a matter of a lack of experience, perhaps? Although you can't always rely on experience. Look at John Merrill. He left Brett Howden, and Howden scored the game-winning goal. So you can't always rely on that. And what would the result? I was thinking about this too. What would the result have been? Because Haig had pinched in so deep. If Minnesota was able to get out of the zone there and get a breakout going, that would have been pretty interesting. He definitely pinched in deep and then got the puck to Pearson, and then Pearson backhanded pass to Howden, who finishes it.
I mean, I guess if Pearson's pass misses Howden and scoots out, then yeah, you got an odd man rush the other way, and maybe the Minnesota Wild convert. Or the Golden Knights were doing an okay job at forwards covering when there was some pinching happening. Saw Riley Smith back there a couple times and other players back there. So I think they might have been okay. I don't think they were in full sellout mode. It's not like they were down 2 goals and they were just, putting it all on the line there and everything. You're talking about playoff experience in Dorofeev and such. Something that was kind of curious to me, I looked it up. Dorofeev actually leads the Golden Knights in the playoffs in shots. He's got 18 shots. Eichel, Hannafin, 16, Tomas Hertl, 14, Mark Stone, Shea Theodore, 12. So Dorofeev is doing what he did all season. Shoots at everything that moves. Shoots. And he obviously finds shots. There you go. He gets the results, obviously, in the regular season, not getting him in the postseason. Dorofeev played all 82 games, led the Golden Knights in shots with 253. 20 more shots greater than Jack Eichel, who played 5 fewer games with Jack Eichel's shooting. They probably would have been really, really close. Jack Eichel gets, 4 or 5 shots a game. Maybe 3 or 4, but either way, they would have been really close. So back to Dorofeev. Is it inexperience as to why he's not scoring? Maybe, maybe not. I think the bigger questions about Dorofeev, and Cassie would be the better one to shed light on, is Dorofeev winning his board battles? Is he playing responsible enough on the backside? Those are the things that I would certainly wonder about. And if we look at the postseason stats, Dorofeev's a -5 right now. Dorofeev
Yeah,
is a -5. I don't like that.
he
Now, to be
struggled.
fair, he
Yeah.
was on that line with Stone and Eichel where a lot of that damage happened. I
Mhm.
don't know how Dorofeev's numbers have changed since William Karlsson went onto that line. I would assume they probably got a little bit better.
Probably a +1 in the last game. And then, I like some of the adjustments. I like, you and I like to analyze some things. One of the things I talked about yesterday, the fact that Hines had on that second VGK power play, because Hurdle was starting to camp out right there in the bumper position, he went to that diamond look and really did a good job of countering what VGK was doing on the power play. But
Yeah, it
again,
almost cost him too, but yeah, I hear
yeah,
you.
no, I mean, but it was worth the gamble, right? Because you have back-to-back power plays. You have to kill off a total of 4 minutes out of 4.5, right? And so I thought that was a really good adjustment in that game. And then I felt that Minnesota probably will try to clog the neutral zone. At least that's what I would do. Remember, they were hitting Eichel in all of the games leading up to the last game on Tuesday night. In game number 5, they were hitting Eichel at the red line. They were hitting him repeatedly. Sometimes 2 guys were hammering him, and I'm suspecting that that's what they're going to do once again. And early in game 5 too, another observation, Chris, a lot of stretch passes for VGK to try to break out of the zone. And then I think pretty much Minnesota might have caught up to what they were trying to do.
Game 4, the Golden Knights made a great adjustment at dump and chase, dump and chase, dump and chase. Something else we talked about on the show, the older version of the LA Kings, I say older, like a couple of years ago. The LA Kings used to be great at slowing the Golden Knights down through the neutral zone. They would force the Golden Knights to play dump and chase hockey, and the Golden Knights would commit to it, eventually wear out their defensemen, and they would find a way to, get some goals because the Kings are tired of getting pounded. The defensemen are tired of getting pounded into the corner every time the puck went deep. You saw that change occur in game 4 in the first overtime. God, crazy. In the first overtime game of the series, Golden Knights did a really good job at just come hell or high water. That puck was getting behind the defenseman for the Wild. And then boom, here come the Golden Knights chasing, trying to create those same turnovers that the Minnesota Wild have been forcing on the Vegas Golden Knights defenseman, mainly Shea Theodore, of course, or isolating Alex Pietrangelo in space and finding ways to create rushes because Alex Pietrangelo has not been able to keep up with Matt Boldy. I mean, call it what it is right there, or Mike Hartman, apparently. So that's the first thing I would say as far as adjustments go. So if the Wild do go back, what the Wild did really well, I thought, and this is something that whoever the Golden Knights do play in the next round, should the Golden Knights advance, series isn't over yet. I'll make sure we're clear about that. Should the Golden Knights advance, and whether it's the Kings or the Oilers, likely the Oilers at this point, they will be watching film on, they still call it film. They'll still be watching
I
game
call it film.
footage.
No. We call it film. It's
Put
still
up in the
film.
VCR. Okay.
Yeah, I got it in the VCR. I got it
They
on the
will.
projector.
There you go.
Back in the day, I'd go and watch football film, and then it would come off the spool. I'd have to get Scotch tape and make believe like nothing happened with the film.
Your
So
age is showing. So real fast.
it is film though.
Going back to everything here about the dump and chase and all that, the Wild did a good job at slowing the Golden Knights down through the neutral zone on their power play opportunities. That's something they did really, really well. And the Golden Knights, they found some time and space these last couple of games through the neutral zone. I'll say it again. Golden Knights transition game. You saw it on the PK the other night on the Karlsson goal. Transition game is absolutely lethal and killer. And if the Wild aren't careful, the Golden Knights can open the game up early. And I do like Coach Cassidy basically fight fire with fire. We don't need to wait for the Wild to get the jump because they're the team that they're back against the wall. He's going to punch it. Cassidy wants the Golden Knights to punch the Wild just as quick as the Wild are going to punch the Golden Knights.
Coming up next, we'll have our keys to victory for game number 6. We both picked VGK in 6. Will our selections change? You'll find out later on, right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, entertainment, a couple of parlays here and there, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. And you can track all your accounts, investments, and spending all in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start to build wealth. When I started to use Monarch, I realized that I just spend money. I go on these sprees here of spending cash in Vegas on food and dinners and what have you. Now I budget smarter and I save a lot more. The all in one convenience, instead of juggling multiple apps, you can now use Monarch to check your finances, to track your spending, and to even plan long term goals. Managing money with your partner, it's smoother than ever with Monarch Money. You can track shared and personal accounts, you can set your goals, and you could stay on the same page without all of that stress. So take control of your finances today with Monarch Money. Use that promo code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off of your first year. Again, use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 50% off of your first year. Go to monarchmoney.com. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights, Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen each and every day. And we do appreciate our everydayers. Fridays, WTF Day, What the Friday, and Saturdays sometimes, especially of late, the Chris and Chris Jr. Show, which is the YouTube exclusive. Please make sure to subscribe right there. I'm going to be headed towards Las Vegas Ballpark on Thursday night, so the game will be on there. Vegas Thrill right there, closing out the season here, but throwing out the first pitch there at the Aviators Ballpark. So that'll be a lot of fun on Thursday night. It's also $2 beer night at the good old Yard. So we call them yards and barns, right? Is that fair? I can still call them
beer.
yards.
I stopped listening after $2 beer.
I know. Did you see the look on his face? Keys to victory for the Golden Knights. You know, Aiden Hill, somebody asked the question to Cassidy, and they framed it like Hill has really upped his game. Huh?
No,
I don't think
doing
so.
His job. He's doing his job. He's doing a good job.
He's doing okay, but okay. In all due respect, not enough shots at him on goal. And 5-hole. How many times has he been beaten 5-hole in this series? At least 3 times.
That first goal was weak.
How many times, though? Seriously, 3 or 4 times? 5-hole?
I don't know the answer offhand. I know the first goal was weak, and he'll be the first to tell you that.
Yeah, but I don't think he's upped his game. I think he's been pretty steady. He's made that next save, right, as Cassidy would alluded to.
He's given him one more save. He's made the big saves. He's made a couple of those real big saves.
But I don't think he's upped his game. I'm sorry. Okay.
If you're comparing him to 2022-23 playoff Aiden Hill, no, he's not there.
No, he's not the sharpest. No, he's not sharp.
But he's given the Golden Knights a chance to win, and he is.
Yeah.
He's not outplaying Gustafsson, I would say.
He's not up. He's definitely not, because look at save percentages and stuff like that. No, he's not. But he's upping his
comments. Go ahead.
No, he's not upping his game. I'm sorry. In all due respect.
We've made comments that the Golden Knights goaltending is sometimes a product of the system in front of it. And if the system is working, the Golden Knights goaltender is doing well. We said that when Logan was here. We said that when Robin Leonard was here. Marc-Andre Fleury and Maxim Lagacé and Malcolm Subban and everything in between, right there.
And the snake charmer.
There you go. Got to bring Robin Leonard in. So, yeah, I mean, when the system is working, the VGK goaltender, whoever it is, doesn't matter. It could be Yuri Patera. It could be Akira Schmid or Samsonov. I think I named a bunch of goalies there. More goalies for the Golden Knights than Chicago Bears quarterbacks.
Where is the luggage guy? Where is Sam Sonoff? Where's he been?
He's fine. He's okay.
He's fine.
He's filling out job applications.
So one of my keys to victory
is LinkedIn.
It leads me into one of my keys here. The defense has got to play much better, and I don't know what they're going to do to hide the
defense
weaknesses.
Or Alex Pietrangelo? Honest question.
That's pretty much. Yeah, that's about it.
Hannafin's fine. A little positioning is a little rough.
He's a liability.
Been okay.
Yeah, no. Hannafin's been
White Cloud,
okay.
McNabb are doing better. Theodore's stepped it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now that he's not turning it over every other play, as he did early on, that's something that's improved a ton with his game. But yeah, defensively, you can't allow players to continue to get behind you. And we've seen that repeatedly in this series.
Agree on all that. Not going to go any deeper because I have nothing else to say besides I agree with that. For me, as far as a key to victory, I'm going to talk about the face-off circle a little bit right now. So this is where moving William Karlsson onto the line with Jack Eichel is paying dividends. All right. 13 of 18 face-offs, I believe, were won between Jack and William Karlsson. William Karlsson lost just one out of 9, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And Eichel was like 60-something% or a high 50 in the last game. So now you are matching up William Karlsson and Jack Eichel against Boldy and Kaprizov. Yes, there's other players on the ice, but those are the 4 players that matter. And again, we know how a face-off works. You win the face-off, you get puck possession. It could be a couple seconds. It could be a rush. It could be a 30 seconds of sustained pressure. When the Golden Knights, again, terrible take coming. When you win more face-offs, the opposition has the puck less. Well, the way Kaprizov and Boldy are absolutely torching the Vegas Golden Knights, and they still are. They're the goal scorers the other night. This is minimizing the damage because there's not a lot else outside of those two as far as putting up numbers for the Minnesota Wild right now. Some face-off numbers throughout the season. The Minnesota Wild were a terrible 46.7% in the circle in the regular season. Freddie Gaudreau was their top face-off, their top centerman, 48.2. Going down to Ryan Hartman, 47.8. Joel Eriksson Ek, who's on the line, of course, with Kaprizov and Boldy, 47.1. Comparing who's taking the face-offs right now, William Karlsson's going to take the lion's share of those face-offs. He was
What about Hurdle?
58% for 58.1 for Karlsson. Hurdle 55.9.
I don't recall seeing him in the face-off circle much in the last game.
You'll see him taking the first face-off in the power play. If he's out there for a kill, you don't see him a lot out there in the kills. And then, of course, anytime his line is out there, he will be the one taking the face-offs. In the last game, I'm curious now if I'm going to back this up or not. Hurdle, yeah, okay. Hurdle took 10. Hurdle won 10, lost 6, 63% in the face-off circle.
That's a lot.
Golden Knights 61% in the last game. So for the Wild, the keys to the victory for the Wild are getting Boldy and Kaprizov away from Eichel and Karlsson. Their face-off percentage will go up. And you don't mind. I mean, the thing is, are they going to be able to get away from Hurdle as well? And then now you're taking face-offs against Nicholas Waugh. Well, Nicholas Waugh throughout the season, let's see, while we're talking about face-off numbers here. Nicholas Waugh for the Vegas Golden Knights was 47.7%. So that's the matchup that the Wild are going to be looking for. On the flip side, the keys to victory for the Golden Knights are get William Karlsson and Jack Eichel out there as much as you can when Boldy and Kaprizov are out there, not because of their defensive ability, but because of the face-offs. Yeah. And the defensive ability helps too.
Sometimes because Karlsson gave up that Eriksson Ek pass, which is the long stretch pass, the backhand. He just stood there. He was a passenger. Sorry to say.
Is that the one where Petrangelo was just?
Yes.
I mean, okay, Jack Eichel turns that over. Karlsson doesn't stop it. Eichel doesn't get
just stands
There's
there
a bunch of errors on that
supports.
play, but credit the Wild for making a good play, Tony. Also,
right,
it's okay. It's going to happen.
Oh, I also have to discredit myself because I said Pavel Dorofeev there was out in the third period. No, it was the overtime period.
Yes, we got.
So I knew he was missing some time, but I just want to correct myself.
I got to
think he's not playing. We're honest.
Thursday.
You don't think
he's
playing?
He's not playing. I'm just guessing.
Okay.
It was the typical. Well, he didn't skate today. We'll see. He ain't playing. He's maintenance day to day toast.
Maintenance day to day. 10 goals in the series for Kaprizov and Boldy. That's what you need to do is stop them first. And I think another key to victory for the Golden Knights, bodies in front of the net. They need the net front presence. We've heard repeatedly where Cassidy says, take away the Gus Bus's eyes, take away his eyeballs somehow, hit him in the eyes or do whatever. And then scoring first. And scoring first to me doesn't just mean the Golden Knights get out to that 1-0 lead. They also have to get back defensively and cannot allow an answer 13 seconds later.
I think the team, I could be wrong, I think the team that scored first has won every game this series.
They've won every game in the series, correct. Yep. They
for the first goal. There you go, done. Let me watch the rest of the game.
Coming up next, we've got our locks and predictions for game number 6. Stay tuned right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Did you know that Fire TV is also an Xbox? You can turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. That's right. And there is no console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you are ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 2025 to Call of Duty to Black Ops 6 and Avowed as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it is all on your Fire TV. You definitely need to check that out. With 4K streaming, watch more than 1.5 million movies. This is up my alley. With television episodes too from some of your favorite shows. And you can also have the subscribed services like Netflix and Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and much, much more. You can play high quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. If you already do have a console, a Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with, allowing you to take your kids and your games wherever you want to plug in. So again, please make sure that you check it out. And of course, I've got no gaming experience or interest, and I definitely would like to check out all those other entertainment choices. So head to amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On to get started today. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller are required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K, second generation, Fire TV Stick 4K Max, first and second gen, and Fire TV Cube, third generation. Again, Fire TV is also an Xbox. Learn more at amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. Oh, that was so dramatic there, that read at the end, huh? Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Straight out of where? Not Compton. Straight out of where?
The penalty box.
Straight out of the penalty box. Now, that is the coolest shirt on the block. I like that.
I've only gotten one, so technically, doesn't make that much sense yet.
Wait,
but
so
this season I'm hoping to change it.
Okay, so what was the penalty? Was it a cross check? What did you do?
What was it? I can't even remember.
Someone stepped on his stick is what happened.
Oh, the William Karlsson play. Okay, so let's
I tried to make him change number 71 this year. He wouldn't do it.
You wear number 71?
I tried. He wouldn't do it.
Oh, no. Okay, so locks and predictions. Go ahead, little Chris,
Right,
before we get you off to do all your homework and prepare for your Saturday show.
What do you got for picks? Get close.
I think the Wild have put a good effort through this whole series, but I think that last night's goal finished off the series. I think the Wild are goners.
The Wild are goners. Okay, who's going to score?
I think it's going to be 6-2 Vegas.
Wow.
Demolishing series and I think Eichel will score. He showed a good effort, and Pietrangelo.
All righty.
You got a Petro believer. Let's go.
All right. Get to sleep early tonight because you have to make up for overtime from last night, right?
He was tired, but he made it to school on time today. He was good. He did a good job.
Yeah, you're happy, right, when your team wins, and then you can just
or
that
you don't go to school. We don't go to any more school night games. Another way to look at it.
No more school night. Yeah, you got to rally. Thanks, little Chris. Big Chris, go ahead, man. You're up.
All right, I'm going 4-1 Vegas. Eichel and Stone again. I'm basically doubling down from the last game. Said Golden Knights in 6. Not going to go against that. I don't know. I think the Wild are gutted. I think they're going to look okay tomorrow, but I do think this is a spot where the pedigree of the Golden Knights just kind of takes over, and you see a continuation of that dominant effort from the third period and overtime.
I know I picked VGK in 6, but I have second thoughts. I think Minnesota is going to try to do whatever they can to be a spoiler of sorts, because the further they extend the series, the further they extend the series, the more can impact VGK in the next series, right?
I'm worried about winning. They don't care about
Perhaps.
it. They don't care about drawing.
I am going to go. No handshakes, okay? I'm
No
not shaking hands anyway. 4-2, I'm going to take the Minnesota Wild Cards. I am going to go with Riley Smith. Riley Smith, he was at the bottom of the hockey stat card standings there a couple of nights, or last night, I should say, as we're recording this on Wednesday night. And I'm going to go with Sad Sod.
I knew you were going to say Sod. I don't know why. I just had that in my mind.
Because I had to say Sad and Sod. You know, that stat on TV last night now, Minnesota 0-42 in playoff games after trailing after 2 periods. So if they trail after, so that's going to be the key right there. If it's a tie after 2, Minnesota still has a chance. So we appreciate everyone tuning in wherever you might be around the world. We appreciate little Chris stopping by there for the cameo. That was pretty cool. Of course, don't forget Fridays are WTF Day. Saturdays, sometimes, the Chris and Chris Jr. Show. We appreciate you tuning in, especially our everydayers. For my man, Big Chris Colick, I am Tony Cardasco. So long for now from Las Vegas. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights. And please take care.